It is the world famous K-Rock. I'm Nicole Alvarez here with James Bay. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, first of all, for coming by because you're playing in a few hours and you
Yes.
don't have to be here.
Well, we're playing in a few hours, and of course, we are a few miles from the actual festival. Are we allowed to reveal that, or have I just given away the game?
No. As long as you don't
All
say
right.
the secret password at the
All right.
beginning.
I
And
haven't. And we haven't done the secret handshake on camera,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah, so we're
Great.
good. I think we're good for now.
Okay.
Is this your first experience in the desert?
It's my yes. Well, I went to Las Vegas once, which is deserty, you know.
Yes, but that's a whole different ballgame.
It is a whole different ballgame, and it's my first Coachella experience as well.
Have you heard about Coachella? Is it infamous? Have you ever wanted to play it?
It's. I think it's pretty infamous.
It really is.
And I have, you know, there's a big list of big festivals around the world, and it's been on there the whole time, and so it's a real big deal to get to actually play it.
There's
you know?
a mystical energy, and I'm curious to see what you'll say after you get off stage. It's pretty magical.
So am I, yeah.
So I saw this great story with you that you were talking about how when you were 11 years old it was an important musical year for you.
Definitely.
And your parents had played, I think it was the Eric Clapton song Layla.
It was, yeah.
And you gravitated towards the guitar, but there's also a very beautiful piano part in Layla.
There is.
Right? The
So
most
true.
beautiful thing.
So true.
So I'm wondering, what was it about the guitar that drew you to it?
Of all the songs in all the world, and there's a lot of great ones, at that point in time, that opening, that introduction, that sort of first statement, that riff is what I'm talking about. It blew my little 11-year-old mind. And it's you know, it's one of the sort of classic riffs and in guitar music, and it just had so much sort of power and passion about it, and very sort of like any kid, you know, it was a new obsession. I saw it, I heard it, and I just went, I have to do that. That's incredible. So yeah, it was all of that, you know, that made me want to play the guitar, and you know, he sings great on that track, you know, but it wasn't even the sort of vocal that I wasn't
Or the
singing
piano
for
even.
or even the piano,
Or even
you
the
know,
piano.
I wasn't, or the drums or whatever, you know, I didn't want to do any of those things. It was the guitar sound that really, like I say, blew my mind, and I just had to learn how to do it.
So tell me about your first guitar after that.
Yeah, it was very different to the guitar that makes that sound. He plays a gorgeous old Fender Strat, but the first guitar I played, it was kind of upstairs in a cupboard, and it was an old nylon string classical guitar, and very difficult and huge to play. Like, you know, it's a big neck, that guitar.
Were you 11?
I was 11, and you know, but I stuck at it, you know, and I worked away, and eventually I worked away to the point that I'd learned enough to sort of to sort of fathom getting an electric guitar eventually, and eventually I did, and then I could really kind of put that riff into action and other riffs and just dig deeper and deeper and deeper into playing the guitar, and it carries on to this day. You know, you've never sort of finished learning to play. You can always learn to play something
You can
new.
always
which is
get better, yes.
why I still love it.
What was the first song that you actually learned how to play in full on the guitar that you felt like, I've got this?
That's a good question. I actually remember "Tears in Heaven" was one.
The saddest song ever
The
written.
saddest song of all time.
Yeah.
That was one that I remember learning to sort of do all the way through. Layla was there. It was one of them. That was one of them as well. And there was a lot of Rolling Stones tunes as well. Sweet Virginia was another one one of theirs that I learned to play all the way through. One of the first ones.
If you ever had the opportunity to meet somebody like Eric Clapton, considering your history with the song Layla and what it did for you, is there anything you'd want to ask him or say to him?
I definitely want to say thank you. You got it. You know, I think if you get the chance to meet those people whose music and work has done so much for yourself, in my case, I'd say thanks, man. You know, for doing all of that, making all that music, and yeah, I don't know. I sort of choke on the questions. You know, it's such an enormous. It's like when someone says, "What's your favorite album?" or whatever. It's, you know, there's so much music. Is kind of the answer to that point. So it's hard to. Without the opportunity to kind of sit down like this and actually have a conversation with someone, it's hard to think of questions. When I'm a fan, you know, I'm purely a fan. So I just have to say thank you.
I would ask him about his first guitar and take
I would
it
guess
from
so.
there.
I would guess so. Nice.
And then take it from there. You've had so many beautiful things happen to you in your career thus far. Grammy nominated. You've recorded at Abbey Road.
Yeah.
You've gone on tour with some incredible people and shared the stage with and collaborated with some incredible artists. What has stuck out to you as a moment that you'll cherish forever?
Well, on that note of sharing the stage, last year, at the end of last year, I played 3 shows in Brixton Academy in London, which is one of the big popular venues in London and a real milestone for any artist. And I sold out 3 nights there. And a few weeks before that, sort of long story short, I was in the same place at the same time as Ronnie Wood from the Stones.
Wow.
And I asked him if he'd asked me what I was up to. I told him about the tour and how excited I was. And the next thing I know, I have asked him to play. Like I said, you know, feel free to come and get up on stage. And he said, like, what? Like, play a song with you? I said, man, if you want to do it. And he did. And he came along and we played one of my favorite. It was a song that the Faces used to do, which is the band he was in before the Stones. He came up on stage, but it was cool because we started the song right at Brixton Academy, and we sort of digging into the riff, and everybody got going. And Ronnie's not on stage yet because I'd sort of tailored it to be like, we started the song off, and then I stopped the song, and I said, hang on. I said, if we're gonna do this, can we do it? Can we get Ronnie? And like, no one had a clue. And I said, can we even find Ronnie Wood? And he came walking on, and the crowd lost their minds.
Of course they did.
It was kind of a little bit planned, but it was fun.
Yeah, but
I thought if we're gonna, how do I introduce Ronnie Wood if I'm gonna bring him on?
That's how you do it. You did it right. What were you feeling? Were you nervous, or did you go back
so
to being
excited.
11 years old again?
Yeah, I was so excited. I guess I was a little nervous, but we were running the song earlier with Ronnie earlier in the day, and he was so cool and relaxed, and we'd worked it out so that he could just come in, and it was, it was used to, we arranged it like the way he's been playing it recently. Or he'd played it most recently. So it was just so much fun, and he's such an entertainer. And
Musical life kind of changed at 11. Ronnie Wood turned it up at 11.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, good luck today because Coachella's really magical, and you've earned that spot. 4:30, Mojave, James Bay, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I am Nicole Alvarez. We are live from the K-Rock Coachella House in Indio.